We welcome you an afternoon, a Labor Day afternoon of Rays baseball from Tropicana Field. Homestand continues after winning 2 of 3 from Toronto. The Rays today begin a 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. So good to have you with us. Well, Labor Day, and you have to go back to, I think, 1894 when this was officially a holiday. But the first Labor Day parade was, I think, in 1882. And when it comes to parades on Labor Day, what we're going to parade out today, 2 of the premier third basemen in all of baseball, in Evan Longoria and Manny Machado.
And both of these guys right now swinging the bats very, very well. If you look at Evan Longoria and you go back over the last month, and that covers 27 games, he just continues to powder pitches that are left out over the plate mistakes. A .295 average. His on-base percentage is .345. Half of the extra base hits have gone for home runs, and he's driven in almost a run a game. Right now, Evan Longoria really help carrying this offense. He shows no sign of slowing down. Manny Machado, you talk about the Baltimore Orioles offense, you talk about home runs. Look what he's done the last 11. The average of .340. In fact, his average right now stands at .305, and it's been over 300 since April the 7th. Has not dropped back below. Very consistent, very hot right now, as you see, 5 homers, and he has driven in a run a game over his last 11.
Rays coming off a good month of August, and the offense has continued to contribute to this run of recent success. Todd Callis is back in town, by the way, and we will hear more from Todd on the Rays offense.
Started shortstop today, right in the middle of that Rays lineup. He is a big reason why the Rays offense has been clicking lately. And even though the Rays have struggled in terms of overall wins this season, last 20 games or so, offense has been on point. In fact, in our Toyota Inside Look, you'll see that the Rays are averaging 5.6 runs per game during the last 20. That includes 31 home runs, a runners in scoring position average over 300, 45 doubles, and an overall 278 average. During that stretch, the Rays have a 12-8 record. Here's Kevin Cash about this offense getting contributions from the entire lineup.
We've had the usual guys in Longo, Logan, and obviously Brad Miller, but a lot of people are doing some things. It's been consistent, but there's been a lot of different names doing it on each, it seems like, every day.
So the Rays go for a win at home on this Labor Day. They have won their last 4 home games on this Labor Day holiday. Hopefully they'll keep that streak alive today against the Baltimore Orioles. We'll have the first pitch in a little more than 4 minutes coming up next on Fox Sports Sun.
The Rays will send Matt Andriese to the hill to continue this homestand and open the series against the Baltimore Orioles. Matt Andriese in search of his 7th win, trying to turn this little slump around, and the Baltimore Orioles trying to stay in the middle of the American League East race. Take a look at the starting lineup for Baltimore, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Adam Jones leads it off, followed by Pedro Alvarez, who will serve as the DH. Manny Machado at third base. Chris Davis in the cleanup spot at first, followed by Mark Trumbull and his 41 home runs. Matt Wieters will catch. Jonathan Scope is at second. J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, hits 8th. Young-Soo Kim in the lineup. He'll play left field and bat 9th.
And you know what, Dwayne, in order for Matt Andriese to get out of this little slump, what he's going to have to do is work from the inside out. And what I mean by that is get back to what he was doing earlier in the season. Get into the zone early and then expand outward from there and get these guys chasing. If he works outside in, especially against a powerful lineup like this, and he's behind and he's forced to come out over the plate, then things are going to continue to go south. So Matt Andriese needs to pound that zone early. Let's take a look at the defense and see how it's going to line up behind Matt this afternoon. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we have Corey Dickerson, Kevin Kiermaier, and Steven Souza Jr. Across the infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Brad Miller, Nick Franklin, and Logan Morrison, with Luke Maile behind the plate.
Nick Franklin out at second base. The double play combination of Franklin and Miller. The Rays have had Matt Duffy out there, and he's feeling a little tender on the strain that he had of the Achilles, and so they will not force that issue. And here's Matt Andriese, all set to go to work against the Orioles. 15th start of the year, 25th appearance overall for Matt, and he faces Adam Jones. First pitch of this game swung on and skied towards center. Kevin Kiermaier making the call and the catch. One pitch, one out.
Can't think of a better way to start a ball game than what you just said.
Well, the height of efficiency there.
And really, that's been Matt Andriese's staple, is efficiency. You know, he was a guy, when he's going good, he's strike one, strike two, I'm not even going to mess around with you, and I'm just going to get you out. Tries to be very efficient with the pitch count, a very aggressive pitcher.
Pedro Alvarez. First pitch missed to him, a fastball. It's 1-0. It's in there for a strike. Well, Alvarez with 20 home runs, 19 have come against right-handed pitching. Chops it toward the middle, backhanded by Franklin, throw across his body, and he gets the throw there in time to get Alvarez.
Boy, off the bat, you didn't know if Nick Franklin was going to be able to get there, number one, and even if he is, number two, is he going to be able to make what is a very difficult throw for how far he had to move. Tough little backhand. Now you got to float it across your body. Little action on it. Morrison goes out and gets it. Look how he attacked that baseball with the backhand and still able to make a nice throw moving away.
So two gone. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Manny Machado. He's hitting .305 with 33 home runs. And the pitch is a strike. Boy, as third baseman go, you just don't get much better than the two guys in this game, Machado and Longoria. And they're having the years to prove it. 0-2 now. Evans starts the day with 31 home runs. Machado, as we mentioned, 33. Now to play Manny Machado, where he ranks in the American League. 10th in hitting, 4th in slugging.
That hitting, that batting average of .305. He had a .222 batting average after the second day of the season. He went 2 for 4 in Game 3 and took his average to .308, and it has not dropped below 300 since.
And there's a line drive base hit to right, his first time up in this game. That is being the model of consistency and doing it with pop.
I mean, he got down to .301 the first week of August 8th, I believe. And I think on the 24th, he got back to .301. And that's it. I mean, unbelievable consistency. April the 7th, he went above 300 and has not gone below since.
Yeah, and you get that kind of offensive consistency as a hitter, and then throw the power in there as well, and then the defense he gives you at third. If this Baltimore club ever won it, he's the MVP.
Yep.
Now Chris Davis.
And you know, the other thing that you love about Manny Machado is the baseball IQ. You know, he gets the game. He's got a great feel for not only his position and obviously for hitting, but a feel for the game, situations, what needs to be done, what play needs to be made.
Yeah, and ideally, those are the kind of players you want to fill your roster with.
Makes it easy for a manager. Got prepared guys.
1-1. Yeah, you get a bunch of those guys, and your manager becomes a genius.
Well, that's Buck Showalter.
Yeah.
You know, and those are the types of guys that he values above and beyond anything else. Are guys that are going to come prepared, know what to do, know how to play, and give max effort every single day.
You know, and as much as Showalter can run a game, it's that side of managing that cannot be overlooked. To accumulate the kind of players that you want, and that's what he is always on the lookout for.
How about when he goes to when he went to Texas from New York? You know, he goes to Texas and then he goes to Baltimore that first year or two, and how many guys all of a sudden aren't on that roster anymore, and some pretty good players.
Yep.
But if you're not a Buck kind of guy, as far as that goes, preparation, work ethic, and all that, you will find your way off the team real quick.
Yeah, it's a matter of evaluating talent, but also people.
Yep.
And Showalter is just lasered right in on that.
Yes.
2-2 the count to Chris Davis. Swing and a miss. Davis out on strikes. Nice inning for Matt Andriese in the first. Rays coming in to hit, no score. Their half, or your Southern Ford dealers. The lineup for the Rays. Nick Franklin leads off, followed by Kevin Kiermaier and Evan Longoria. Brad Miller back in there at shortstop. Logan Morrison's at first, and Steven Souza Jr. in right. Corey Dickerson, Kurt Casale the DH, and Luke Maile catching, rounding out the Rays lineup today.
Well, taking the mound this afternoon for the Baltimore Orioles is right-hander Ubaldo Jimenez, making his 21st start of the season. As you see, he's appeared in 24 games. He's gone rotation, bullpen, now back to rotation.
First pitch is up and away to Nick Franklin. Called 1-1. Fastball at 92. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, as you could see when Jimenez's numbers were up on the screen, it has not been going well over the course of the season, although his last 2 starts have been pretty good. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 6 innings, 3 earned runs.
Lifted toward left center. Jones angling back from his center field spot. That's the first out.
Well, let's take a look at that Oriole defense. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in that outfield, left to right, we have Hyun-Soo Kim, Adam Jones, and Mark Trumbo. Across the infield, third to first, Manny Machado, J.J. Hardy, Jonathan Scope, and Chris Davis, with Matt Wieters behind the plate.
Machado down at third. And Kevin Kiermaier in the batter's box against Jimenez. And to left, a little looper. That's going to drop for a base hit.
Double.
Kiermaier will make that aggressive turn and then suddenly put on the brakes.
Well, you know what? And you've got to give credit to Hyun-Soo Kim. And obviously this team, and as we talked about it last half inning with Buck Showalter, this team prepared and understanding that Kiermaier's the guy that's looking to go for two. And I thought out of the box, the way this was softly hit, I thought he had a chance. Look how far Kim had to go, but look at him hustling the entire way to try to keep Kiermaier at first base, and he was able to do just that. Kiermaier was thinking about it, always is.
So Kevin at first, now with a 9-game hitting streak. And Evan Longoria is at the plate. Moved to first, and Kiermaier back in. Kiermaier 13 of 15 in the running game, and now there's that 9-game hitting streak. First time up with a base hit today.
And opponents 21 out of 24 against Jimenez.
And there goes Kiermaier, and the throw is not in time, fading to the first base side. Kiermaier not wasting any time picking up his 14th stolen base.
You know what? And even if Matt Wieters put that throw right on the bag, Kiermaier may have caught it on his slide in. I mean, he was there in plenty of time. Like I said, 22 now out of 25 against Jimenez. That's been an issue for him, and so the Rays capitalize on that early.
Scoring opportunity presenting itself with one out in the first. Strike on Longoria. It's 1-1. The Rays face Jimenez. He made a start against the Rays here at the Trop back at the end of April, on April the 26th. They got 3 runs on 6 hits in 6 innings that day against him. And that pitch in and clips Longoria. They've been hit by a pitch. The Rays will take a look to make sure Evan is all right.
That ball just take off, running up and in. Boy, caught him right on the back of that right hand.
Ron Porterfield, along with Kevin Cash out there, making a close examination of his right hand. So far, so good. Third man hit this year by Jimenez, coming in and getting Longoria on the right hand. So 2 men on with 1 out for Brad Miller. Pitch to Brad is a ball. Nothing. Rays 3-9 against Baltimore. All 3 of those wins have been here at the Trop, where they are 3-3 against them. Rays have yet to win a game up in Baltimore this year. They'll be in there on this next road trip. 3-0 the count now to Brad Miller. Logan Morrison on deck. 3-1. Jimenez 5-11 overall, 1-7 on the road in 11 appearances, 9 road starts. He has a .655 earned run average. It's a full count. The way that season series breaks out. Baltimore dominating, especially up in Baltimore.
Look at those numbers there. 2.8 runs a game, 173 average with runners in scoring position, and it's going to go down from there. And the strikeout by Brad Miller. The strikeout
up, got it.
Of Brad Miller by Waldo Jimenez. He tried to cut that. See that ball spinning almost like a football, but it stayed pretty true, and you're right, up in the zone, coming back from a 3-0 count. That's the thing about Jimenez, is he will give you a little bit of a look at everything. The fastball, you know, curveball, he'll cut it, a changeup, a split. I don't know if Matt Wieters has enough fingers.
Well, Logan Morrison in 6 at-bats has 4 hits off him in his career. So he might be the guy to have up here for the Rays right now. With men at first and second, and now 2 outs. Morrison has been on a little bit of a hot streak, and we know that tends to be his game.
Now that was a no-doubter off Marcus Stroman. That ball was well struck, way up there. And right here, yeah, the little Ric Flair action. I like it. Styling and profiling. If he would have just done the walk, the little stutter step walk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know it. Well, everybody knows it.
He's ahead 3-0 right now. Steven Souza Jr. on deck. Swinging. 3-0, got a little piece of it. 3-1.
You know, and if Ubaldo Jimenez is going to continue to live in these types of counts, I mean, the Rays, we talk about the Orioles being able to hit home runs. Well, guess what? So can the Tampa Bay Rays. And pitches like this in bad counts, they're going to start connecting with.
To check on that one, could not.
It was that same thing. That was the cutter that stayed up in the zone, and right there, Logan wanting to turn it loose on 3-1 and just couldn't help himself.
Well, the hitter's in such a swing mode. 3-1.
You've got to be disciplined. You know, as a pitcher, you got to be able to make a pitch, get a strike. You don't want to walk the guy. But as a hitter, you're right. You have to stay disciplined. Stay within the zone. Pick out a spot.
Go and the pitch foul back. So we'll do that again with men at first and second. 2 gone and a full count. Kiermaier at second. Longoria on first. A lot of base runners off Jimenez this year. 132 hits and a little over 107 innings coming into this game with 61 walks. And there goes Kiermaier headed to third. A step back and no throw from Jimenez.
Well, we saw, I can't remember who the team was now, pull that against the Rays. And look at where Manny Machado is right here. And it's a race to the bag. And Kevin Kiermaier able to get a full head of steam, and Machado's just not able to get there just by the way that he's positioned. Another way you can take advantage of the shade or the shift.
First and third now. 2 outs and a 3-2 count. And it's lifted into deep right center. Trumbo back, and that ball is out of here. He got it over the yellow line into and out of the stands. And the Rays on a 3-run blast by Logan Morrison take a 3-0 lead. Well, that hot streak for Morrison continues. found himself in a hitter's count, belted it out.
You know, and it looked like, we'll have to see if that was a changeup, a two-seamer right there. That's the split, because he was just a hair out in front, but able to lengthen the swing. You see how he lengthens the swing right there, and then finishes high with the one hand on the handle and just enough to drop it on the other side of the wall. And that one goes for big numbers, 3-run shot. That's what the Orioles used to live by. Well, still kind of do, but that was Earl Weaver's favorite.
So the 13th home run for Logan Morrison. It's 181 home runs for the Rays. And now Steven Souza Jr. Pitch is outside. One. Well, Morrison, as we know, when he gets hot, he is hot, and he's in one of those streaks right now.
I remember how long it took him to drive in his first run, and then once he did, he couldn't stop for a while. Very streaky.
There's a line drive caught by Davis at first to retire the side. Rays come up with 3 on a long one off the bat of Logan Morrison. His 13th home run, and it's 3-0 Rays. Three-run homer, giving the Rays an early lead. We go to the second inning. Toyota keys to success for Baltimore. It is the home run and then some, leading the major leagues with 214, and they're led by Mark Trumbo, who has 41 home runs to start this game, and he takes the pitch, a fastball for a strike.
That leads all of Major League Baseball. This Oriole team has 6 guys that have 20+ home runs. There's only been 19 teams, or 19 times that's ever happened in MLB history. That's pretty incredible when 2/3 of your lineup go 20+.
Yeah, take a look at that. Alvarez just joined them at 20. The second baseman has 21 home runs. The strike. Well, the Rays second baseman, Logan Forsythe, missed a good part of the year. He has 17. As you pointed out early, the Rays can hit home runs as well, and Logan Morrison made that point. There's Forsythe. Two and two. Trumbo, Wieters, and Scope due up.
Baltimore wondering what they were going to get out of Mark Trumbo. You know, Nelson Cruz and the work that he did for the Orioles, he had moved on. Get Mark Trumbo to stick in this lineup. I don't know if they envisioned 41 home runs leading Major League Baseball with a month to go. He's been something else for this team.
And he's out on strikes right here. Second strikeout for Andres. That had a little cut to it.
That's that changeup that has slider action. You know, when you see that pitch come out of the hand in real time as it was happening, you say to yourself, that looks like a slider. We've seen enough of Matt Andres to know it's that kind of that off-centered changeup. But boy, oh boy, that pitch is nasty.
Matt Wieters. This pitch is a strike. Yeah, we've seen that pitch do different things, but thrown as a really as a changeup, but with, as you point out, that slider cut.
He does that a lot to right-handed hitters. You know, against most lefties, it's a traditional changeup that's either going to fade a little bit or sometimes it'll go straight down. But it's all in the way. You know, you have the grip and then how you manipulate that wrist and that hand on the side of it and kind of pulling it across the plate or staying on top of it and getting some fade and sink.
And a cut and a miss.
I think that was one right there, but that was another one moving towards Matt Wieters. Wasn't even in the best spot, but you know what? The arm action says fastball. The speed does not. And there's another changeup, and it kind of. And you know what? I don't know if he does these things on purpose, because when you talk to the catchers, they're like, I'm not really sure. It could come in three different ways.
Jim Hickey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really. I don't recall ever having seen anything quite like that.
No. He's got a couple of guys on his starting staff that he can stand behind and wonder.
Yeah, Drew
what
Smiley
that
being
pitch
one
was.
of them.
Yeah.
And Andres the other one.
Just get it into a good spot, use it in the right way, and it'll work out.
Ground ball.
Gotta go.
Andres will have to cover. Throw to first. They got him. Nice job, Andres, getting over there. Franklin with the pickup. Morrison well off the bag, and the combo of Franklin and Andres take care of Scope. And it's a 1-2-3 second inning. Rays lead 3-0. Rays. Twice the fun with $2 Pepsi fountain drinks. Double up on the deals when the Rays take on the Orioles Wednesday. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit raysbaseball.com/specials. Corey Dickerson takes the pitch inside. Dickerson, Casale, and Maile coming up for the Rays here against Ubaldo Jimenez. It's a 1-1 count. It into center. Jones coming in a few steps and he makes the catch. Dickerson, who had been red hot, now going through a little bit of a hitless streak. First out here in the second. And that's going to get Kurt Casale up there.
I wonder how many times, whether it's in the minor league, anytime, spring training, did you had Casale, Maile hitting back-to-back?
Yeah, the odds are not good.
When I was writing out the lineup, I thought it was a typo. I'm like, how can this be? And there they are.
Yep.
Video evidence.
0-2.
Again.
Casale at the plate, Maile on deck. Jimenez missed the outside corner. Hold right there at 1-2 on the check swing.
Respecting the power of Kurt Casale, power potential. Jimenez at this point, or to this point, has stayed away, down and away, trying to force him up the middle, use the big part of the field.
Out of play. The facing of the upper deck and down.
And you know what? That's typically how you're going to pitch a DH. You stay down and away. Stay out of that juice zone.
Well, we've seen Casale's power as well. You know, you groove one. There's a little popper out to second. Scope handles that. Yeah, you don't want to groove one to him.
No. And he can get, you know, we talked about Logan Morrison gets streaky.
Yep.
You know, Corey Dickerson, kind of the same.
Yep.
Same with Casale. And we've seen him get on those hot streaks where he just starts blowing everything up.
And you know, you see that more in guys who tend to have more power. Their approach allows them to get hot and then get cold. I mean, it just fits right in. And so if you have a team that hits a lot of home runs, there's a chance you could catch them really hot, which you'd better be careful. Or you could catch them really cold, and pitchers use that to their advantage.
That goes right back to the point that you were making about Manny Machado and the fact that that batting average has been above 300 since April the 7th. And you combine, that's not getting cold, like not getting cold ever.
Yep.
And then on top of that, you put the power and the production with it.
Yeah. Well, you see how rare it is. I mean, you see what he's done. He's such an exceptional player, and the year he's having, an exceptional year. Hard to find those guys, and boy, when you do, grateful. 2-2 now to Luke Maile. He checked in time. The count goes to 3-2. Buick GMC big matchup. Luke Maile has been on a hot streak, 10 games, hitting .429. Out on strikes this time, and it's a 1-2-3 second. We go to the third. It's 3-0 Tampa Bay. Several cannot buy big league experiences, including a chartered flight to Miami to see the Rays play, or dinner at Ducky's hosted by Evan Longoria. Turn a double play today. Call 888-FAN-RAYS and talk with a Rays specialist. J.J. Hardy takes the pitch, and that's a strike. Deep down the left field line. That ball is foul. Boy, did he get hold of that one. Fortunately for the Rays, that's a foul ball. Hardy jumped on a fastball.
Well, J.J. Hardy, another guy capable of hitting some home runs, getting up into that 20-plus range. Various ailments have really curbed his power here the last year or two. But that one he got into. Unfortunately, as you see, it ended up just foul and no play to be made.
Yeah, an error to be charged on that attempt.
To an Oriole fan. So that's okay.
Yeah, but I think there's some delay as the Orioles determine whether they want to maybe have a discussion about that being fair or foul. And they could ask the fan down there who committed the error, and he could tell them right away.
But would he tell them the truth?
Well, you know.
I'm assuming so,
Yeah,
but you never know.
You got to give people a benefit of the doubt. You can't be cynics up here.
The last couple of times I've done that, Dwayne, I've gotten burned badly.
1-2. Yeah, but you still can't be a cynic.
It's tough.
You have to believe.
It's tough. He's foul. He's.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's not foul.
Yeah.
He's in foul territory.
Yeah, that's right. Just unhappy that had they asked him, he would have to tell them the truth. So that made him unhappy.
And thus the look.
Yeah. Three and two. Kim on deck. Hardy leading off. That's strike three call. Nice pitch right there. That'll That'll be strikeout number 4 for Matt Andriese. Pitch at the knees.
Boy, well located. Look at him just drive this fastball right to that outside corner. J.J. Hardy, not a thing that he was going to be able to do with that pitch. Maybe foul it off, maybe dribble it in play. Takes it, hopes it's a ball. It wasn't.
So the leadoff man retired in the 3rd. Young-Soo Kim up there. First pitch is a strike.
You know, one of the benefits of getting an opportunity to play in the National League and to be able to hit are, you know, facing big league pitchers. And when you see a pitch like that, it looks like it is so far away from you.
Hot shot, grabbed it short by Miller, and the call was that it was playable. Miller felt he had caught it on the line and then looked to Field and Colbreth, the second base umpire, and it's going to be 6-3. The home plate umpire called it on a line, and Colbreth called it safe, but we're going to go with the home plate umpire on that one. That's the one that Miller went with, but then he checked to make sure. But that's a line drive. So Manny Gonzalez behind the plate called it a line drive and a catch.
Do you see Brad Miller, though, looking out at Field and Colbreth like, are you going to give me some direction here? Do I need to throw it or don't I?
Yeah.
Finally just did. Cover your bases.
Want to know the count on Adam Jones.
I appreciate that, partner, because the umpire alignment got messed up again today. Shocking. And I don't know who's where at this point.
Well, you looked out there and you said, wait a minute, that's not Jim Reynolds.
No.
And that's how it was originally announced.
Right.
But it's, in fact, Field and Colbreth, and Reynolds has gone over to first, and Colbreth, who's the crew chief, is at second. And right here, out of the shift, Franklin in front of this one, a high throw. Oh, safe the call. Morrison tried to get the tag, and that time Reynolds on the call. And Jones is safely in.
Well, they had Adam Jones defensed perfectly. Nick Franklin able to come up with it, takes his time, and then that throw just floats and sails wide. And right there, Adam Jones really had given himself up too, running down to first base. He was not going at it pretty hard at all, and able to avoid that tag and touch the bag. But I don't think that Kevin Cash is going to be happy with the play, and I don't think Buck Showalter is going to be happy with the effort up the line.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, and especially with a guy who really is in a position just by what he does and who he is to be a team leader. There's Alvarez
in a playoff race.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You don't want to get the look.
No. No, you don't want that from him.
If you get the look and the invitation to the office, you better buckle up.
Yeah. This one is down and in. It's interesting. We both had opportunities to be around him, and you played for him and have great respect for him. And I was in New York when he broke in, as even before he was a manager, around him. And he's great. He's very personable, but he's got a game plan. And you better get on board.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now.
I just love that.
Yeah, I do too. Man that knows what he wants and knows how to do it, and has proven to be able to do that, you know, to be successful. But he certainly has a way. I mean, he's not so rigid that he doesn't adapt with some things. You know, I mean, he certainly shows enough flexibility, but of the core principles of the types of players that he wants, and you know, core values, those do not waver.
3-0 now the count, and there's ball 4. So you don't want to start putting men on, trying to get around the error. With a walk to Alvarez, and now with 2 men on, The hitter is going to be Manny Machado.
And that's precisely the reason why. Once you get to the top of the lineup, a mistake that's made, Alvarez with 20, Machado with 33, Davis with 33, Trumbo with 41. I mean, it just goes from bad to worse.
Well, the first time up, Andres got ahead of Machado 0-2, and then he lined a base hit into right. 2 men on with 2 men out. And that pitch is low. Not as free and easy here with men on base and Machado at the plate. It's a strike. Next pitch. 1-1. Andres taking his time. That's 2-1. Hardy and Kim are retired on a strikeout and a line out before Jones reached on the air, and then the 4-pitch walk to Alvarez. Pop up, foul ball. Maile looking for it. He's going to have room and makes the catch, retiring the side. 2 men left for Baltimore. Middle of the third, 3-0 Rays.
From the minor leagues to join the Rays beginning tomorrow. Minor league seasons end today. The Durham Bulls currently playing. And guys, a lot of tough decisions tonight for Kevin Cash, Matt Silverman, and the crew, because there are still 10 players at the Durham level that played for the Rays at some point this year, including 4 guys that were on the opening day roster and 2 others that Mikey Matuk and Taylor Motter, who had significant time here. You can't bring everybody back. We should see some new faces tomorrow. Back to you.
Yeah, the bench has been interesting the last few days. Maybe a position player and a couple of catchers, and today 2 catchers in the lineup with Casale, the DH, and Maile behind the plate. So we'll see a few more new faces here in the next day or two. 2-0 pitch. Franklin lifts a pop fly into left. Kim making sure he keeps his eye on that one. It can be scary out there if you haven't played the outfield there.
Yeah, and if you had a camera isolating Hyun-Soo Kim on that fly ball, Yeah, that's right. A sigh of relief and a little smile there, because initially didn't find it. And then all of a sudden, once you do, you better lock in. And you can see those eyes not leaving that baseball, not blinking either. Can't even afford yourself a blink.
Yep. Kevin Kiermaier. Kiermaier reached on that base hit, dropping it in front of Kim, and then wasted a little time stealing second, and eventually stealing third base as well. Strike the count on him, and that one stayed in. It's now 1-1. Kiermaier now with a 9-game hitting streak. He's facing Ubaldo Jimenez. It's going to be out of play. Left-handed hitters have fared pretty well against Jimenez. .333 coming into this game. Right-handed hitters .275. So Kiermaier with a hit. Logan Morrison with a 3-run home run. Pop back a third. Machado into foul territory for this one. And that'll be the second out. Base is empty for the Rays third baseman, Evan Longoria. Evan hit on the right hand his first time up. He's had a bit of a difficult time against Jimenez in his career. 2 of 12 against him and 5 strikeouts. And then hit by a pitch his first time up today. Strike one.
You know, there's some guys that you don't pick up the release point very well. Other guys you do. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and that's why managers will play matchups when they look at career at bats. A little tapper right back to the hill. And Jimenez has a 1-2-3 third. On to the fourth. 3-0 Rays. Come to expect and a lot more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. First pitch to Chris Davis is wide. Matt Andriese on the hill for the Rays. Given up 1 hit and has picked up 4 strikeouts through the first 3 innings.
Well, and for the most part, you know, he's been back in that mode, trying to get quick outs, attacking the zone. I mean, he has the game plan. It's a matter of going out and executing it. So far, so good.
High fly ball deep to left off the bat of Davis, and that is gone. Shows you the power of Chris Davis, his 34th home run of the year. An opposite field leadoff home run in the 4th. Baltimore on the board.
I guess that's why you qualified as so far. But Chris Davis, you know, this pitch, it might have been off the plate away, but the swing, the sound, and you just wondered what row would it end up in. Boy, he's got good coverage right there. Selling out for that pitch away, and we know he's got the power to go that way. He knew it.
That's the 2nd home run Davis has hit off Matt Andriese. And now here's a pop foul back by Trumbo, and that's out of play. That pitched against the Orioles back in late June in the first game of that doubleheader in Baltimore on the 25th of June. And dropped a 5-0 decision. Gave up 2 runs pitched into the 5th inning of that game. And did not allow a home run in that game. Here's Trumbo taking a 1-1 pitch deep to right center, and that ball actually behind Souza Jr. He goes into the wall. Kiermaier picks up the carom. It's a double for Trumbo. That's his 22nd double, and Souza slow and picking himself up in right center field.
To see what happened there, this was strange. This ball, you know, middle in, and Trumbo stays inside of it, but he's got that kind of pop. And let's see what happened with Souza Jr.
I mean, that ball behind him.
The ball was behind him. He jumped right there. He jumped right into the wall. You can see where the ball's at. Maybe, you know, he's trying to get out of the way of Kevin Kiermaier. I mean, certainly it didn't have anything to do with the ball.
And he appears to be all right, slow and getting up. Wieters takes a pitch down and in.
Well, that's why his name's become a verb.
Well, that's true. I mean, there's no denying that. That's a fair ball back of first. Andriese will cover, taking the toss from Morrison as Trumbo goes to third. So a nice play there. Morrison and Andriese teaming up. They get the first out.
Roll over, and then Matt Andriese immediately going to first base. Logan Morrison now you got to tag the base, now turn and look. Those are always the worst ones. You work on those in spring training all the time. As you're covering first, they'll say, okay, runner on second. And so you cover first, make sure you catch the ball, find the bag, and then you've got to turn and spin, check where that runner is over by third. And now the key is to keep him there. That's what Jim Hickey's out trying to help him do.
Jonathan Scope to be the next hitter for the Orioles. Lead is 3-1. Davis getting Baltimore on the board with the home run.
Ground ball to the corner infielders. You've got a chance if Trumbo is going to go on contact. Middle infielders, not so much.
Up. You have to be mindful of almost every hitter in this lineup in regard to power. Scope has 21 home runs. One and one. Two. Out in front and reaching.
Well, you've got the blueprint. I don't think that he's going to be able to hold up on a pitch down there for 3 straight, and that's what I would do here, because you put yourself in position to get the strikeout, which you desperately need here.
And he gets him right back out there. Got him reaching. Big strikeout. That's number 5.
Well, and it's that changeup again. Here he stays on the side of it. That ball kind of spinning, and then look at it just die into the glove of Luke Maile. Boy, he threw a number of very good changeups, well located to Scope. And this is the different action that you'll get on that pitch. See where the fingers are? This one stays more traditional, down to a lefty, straight down. And then a couple that have that cutting action to it. Either way, a filthy pitch that's been working well today.
Pitch up and in to J.J. Hardy. There's a lot of mileage out of one pitch. One that actually cuts and or fades and or goes down. And sometimes a combination of those.
And the arm action says fastball, and there's the change of speed to go along with it.
Yep.
So you get the change of speed, and you get not really sure which way it's going to go. I'm not sure he does either. Maybe he does. If I were him, I'd continue to play dumb on it.
Yep.
Oh, no, I'd just throw it. Whatever it does, mind of its own. It's effective. And you're right, a lot of mileage, my goodness.
Chop to third, foul. Longoria reaching across. And it's 1 and 2. Davis opened with a home run in the 4th. Trumbo at third, 2 gone. In 2 and 2. Trumbo, the runner at third, before that last pitch, really down the line a little bit, just to be more of a distraction, or attempt to be, than anything else.
Well, you know, you've got a guy on the mound, and again, well-prepared team. 4 balks on the season. He's had trouble with runners. He's had trouble with the balk. So you're trying to get him, or get in his head a little bit. And that's exactly what Mark Trumbo is doing. He's not going to take off on you.
Yep.
He's not the type of guy to pull that, but what he can do is get down in your line of sight, since you're a right-handed pitcher, and start to mess with you and try to really draw a balk. See, look at Matt Andriese looking at him, kind of sneaking down there a little bit, much more active the previous pitch.
And that's the kind of thing that's not lost on a Showalter team either. Oh, this one skips away, and down the line comes Trumbo. So on the wild pitch, it's a 1-run ball game now, 3-2.
There's that changeup, and it goes down into the zone, and Luke Maile trying to get over there and block that. May have been just a hair late. Yeah, you see, just a little bit late, and that ball right in front of the plate. That's a
Yeah,
almost angled it that way.
Yeah, ideally you want your body angled the other way.
That ball, his body was angled away from the field.
Now fly ball toward the line and left. Dickerson in. Now Miller's out there in foul ground to make the catch. 2 runs scored. It's a 1-run game. 3-2 Rays. Michael, great moment. We started with Doug Wechter a couple days ago on his great outing. Well, how about this? 2003, that stylish Kansas City left-hander Brian Anderson goes the distance. A 7-hit shutout against the Angels, his 9th career complete game. And so we wanted to make sure we gave full credit due to that performance. You see the pop out by Miller there to start the bottom of the 4th inning. I mean, Doug Wechter, he got his moment in the sun. Wanted to make sure that Brian Anderson got his as well.
Well, I appreciate that. Had no idea it was coming. But what I will tell you about that game, that's the only time, the only start I ever made in my big league career where I initiated conversation with the pitching coach. You know, usually a pitching coach would have something to say, I would talk back. That was the first time that I ever turned to a pitching coach to say anything. It was the worst warm-up I'd ever had. I mean, I wasn't a strikeout guy. I think we've established that. But I couldn't even throw strikes in the bullpen. I mean, I was awful. And John Cumberland, our pitching coach, I turned to him and I said, Cumby, you may want to get the bullpen up early today. I cannot throw a strike. Even paused for the national anthem. Resumed throwing, finished with 5 straight, nowhere near the zone. I couldn't figure out where the ball was going. I thought I had the yips. I mean, it was remarkable. And when we were walking in, I told him again, I said, you say whatever you want. You watch the same warm-up that I participated in. It was awful. You better keep a close eye on me. And the next thing you know, that happens.
You should have done that more often.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, you'd still be pitching instead of forced to hang with me up here.
No, well, not forced. I would still love to be pitching if that elbow still worked. Ran out of those chances, but it was amazing. You know what happens, too, is physically you're in big trouble, that you're just not able to execute the pitches like you want to, and you know that you have to survive. And all of a sudden, the brain, it's like you get smarter because that's your only weapon that you can take out there that you feel good about. And then before too long, all of a sudden, you get into the flow. You're starting to make a pitch here, make a pitch there. The mind's sharp. And that ended up being the result. I never in a million years would have guessed that's how that game would have ended. Maybe no innings pitched and 9 runs given up. I could have seen that.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, that's a great story because you went from having nothing and to turning in that performance. And I'm just wondering how often a pitcher does that, where he comes out of the bullpen and not feeling all that good about what was happening in the pregame bullpen, and carries it to the mound and it clicks.
I would think that it would happen more than you would think. You know, I on the flip side, if all of a sudden, you know, I play catch, long toss, I walk into the mound, now I'm going to start my pregame bullpen routine, and I am locked in from pitch one, and now I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, this is too easy right now.
Yeah, you think, couldn't we just start the game right now?
That's exactly right.
I don't want to waste this and leave it in the bullpen.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What a great life. That's the life of a pitcher. And this game will do that, I'm sure, to hitters as well.
Oh, no doubt. Everybody has, you know, their thing, something. It's just a routine-oriented game played at the highest level with what ultimately a ton of pressure, because you especially when you're early in your career, you feel like every time you go out there to perform, you're performing for your job, because there's a whole lot of guys down in the minor leagues and a draft happening every year to restock systems of guys trying to move up that ladder and take your job. And that's what it feels like early on until you establish yourself.
Souza takes this one inside. The count is 1-1.
And by the way, even after you establish yourself, that foot better not come off that gas pedal.
Yep.
That'd take too long for you to be gone anyway.
Yep. It's the nature of the beast. That's the thing that allows it to create such joy and feeling of accomplishment, and yet insecurity at the same time, because it's always out there on the line. Souza Jr. out on strikes. Third strikeout for Jimenez, 2 gone. Here's Corey Dickerson. Morrison walked. He's at first. Ball, no strikes to Dickerson in what is now a 1-run ball game. Sweeter's calling time, asking for time, and granted by Manny Gonzalez. Fly ball lifted into right. Trumbo angling to his right to make the catch. Gray's going to walk and leave a man. We're headed on to the 5th. 3-2 Tampa Bay. The Orioles, all kids 14 and under get $2 tickets with the purchase of a full price paid adult ticket. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com/specials. Group of youngsters right there enjoying this one. We've seen some of those before.
Seen them crawling around up here.
That's right. Kim takes the first pitch down.
Seen him crawling around out on the field.
Yep. Dan Wheeler here. The Wheelers and the Quicks taking this one in, and family. Charlie Manuel here too, and there are the youngsters. You gotta feed them when they come to the ballpark.
Okay, yeah, right there. The little one, the little girl fourth from the right. That's the one I'm afraid of.
Yeah, and for good reason.
You warned me.
Yes. There's a line drive up the right side off the bat of Kim into the corner for extra bases on his way to second, and he's going to stop right there with a double. So Kim with his 15th double, and just like that, the Orioles have the potential tying run in scoring position.
You know, you always hear that, the old adage, down and into a left-handed hitter, and that's exactly where that pitch ended up, just kind of cutting across the plate, down and in. He keeps it fair and leads the inning off with the double. You know, Kim was a guy coming out of spring training where Baltimore approached him with maybe, you know, going down to the minor leagues, and he had the option to say no to that. He did say no to that, and you know, in his limited time, he's hitting over 300.
That's his 15th double now. Pitch a little bit outside to Adam Jones.
Making that transition overseas. New pitchers, new style of pitching.
A soft liner into right, one hop to Souza. Kim will have to stop at third base.
Did not get a very good read on that one. Didn't want to make a foolish play. Being that lead runner at second base, that ball off the bat, you knew it was going to fall in, but from Kim's perspective, he can't tell that, so he's got to wait. You can see this ball right here. It's going to drop in. But Kim, he'd rather be cautious in that situation. That's what he was, and now first and third with nobody.
There's Pedro Alvarez. Yeah, you know, and even on that return, that throw from the outfield, you want to be crisp with that. There was a little, just a lob toss in there. You get burned on that.
We've seen it. We've already seen that happen to the Rays.
Pedro Alvarez swinging and missing. That's a strike. It's a one-run ball game. First and third. And Grease trying to pitch out of trouble. And now he's ahead. Alvarez chasing the changeup. It's 0-2.
Powerful lineup. Guys that are stacked in the middle, or all the way through really, that want to drive in runs. They're going to have an aggressive approach. And right now, Matt Andriese taking advantage of that with balls out of the zone, but still getting the big swings.
Wide with this one. It's a ball, 2 strikes.
See if he uses that as a change of eye level to go back to the changeup. That's what I would expect here out of Andriese. Helps you speed your arm up. You know, a lot of times you throw those off-speed pitches, especially the changeup, 3, 4, 5 pitches in a row, you lose the feel for it. So a couple of good ones, fastball up, and let's see if he goes back to it.
Eye on Jones. Adam Jones, the runner at first. Kim aboard at third. Nobody out in the top of the fifth. Tapper foul. Came back with that changeup. And he made contact. Still out in front. So he did come back with that pitch. Two again. He goes up with a fastball. Well, the last time he followed that up by going back down to the change. Now he's gone to 2-2. And a little tap foul. Well, again, he tried that, and Alvarez enough contact to foul it and stay alive.
If he gets another one below the zone, like the first two, he'll get a strikeout here. Absolutely will. Alvarez will not be able to hold up.
Again to first on Jones. Two pitch, and there is strike three call. He just froze him with a fastball there.
You could have walked that ball to home plate and not gotten it more in the center. I mean, look at this. That is right down the middle, thigh high. Alvarez obviously looking for that changeup and just could not pull the trigger.
So a big strikeout for the first out with men on the corners.
Isn't it funny what a sequence of pitches will do to a hitter's mind? Because that's the pitch that hitters dream about.
Yep.
Fastball right down the middle.
Well, here's another major challenge in Manny Machado. And he fouls this one off speed. Strike one. Melee to the hill. A little conference. Well, Machado got behind and then singled the other way to right field in the first inning. Fouled out to Melee in the third. That came with 2 men on. Now men at first and third, 1 out in the fifth. Foul right back into the screen. 0-2. That pitch up and on the edge of the plate. Well, that's where Andriese has kept these, 1 down and 1 up, and on the very edge of the plate. He got him, went up with him, struck him out. Boy, what a job Andriese did right there. You talk about making some pitches, and then to get him to chase up, and strikes him out on 3 pitches.
Well, you can take advantage of these guys and their aggressiveness, and that's what he did. Look what this ball is. That's up at the shoulders. Shoulder high heater. And Machado, boy, that fastball up close to the face, a lot of confidence in being able to go up there and handle it, and couldn't do it. Matt Andriese one hitter away from getting out of this mess.
Chris Davis has struck out and homered. Hit a 2-0 pitch out the opposite way in the 4th, and bats again in the 5th inning. Cut the miss. Change up and him out front. That pitch off the plate and hit it out of here to open the 4th inning. That made it a 3-1 game. Wild pitch allowed the other run to score. A little piece of that one. A foul ball. So it's 2 strikes now on Davis. Home run leaders in the majors since 2012, and Chris Davis tops that list of impressive sluggers. Encarnacion, Cruz, Mike Trout, Miguel Cabrera. Two strikes right now. And for Davis, 34 home runs this year. Did he go? He tried to check and did, says Clint Fagan down at third.
Well, you better have strong hands, wrists, and forearms. He's going up to get it. Let's see. Well, you know, he's knocking on the door.
And boy, you're right. That takes a lot of strength to stop that and not go too far. One and two. Here we go. High pop foul. That's out of play. See him right there at 80 pitches. And this one coming a very, very big one. Protecting a one-run lead in the 5th. 1-2 again. Runner takes off at first. Pitch in the dirt. Blocked by Maley. Jones winds up at second on a steal.
Well, we've seen one wild pitch already lead to a run. This one well out in front of the plate. You see Maley trying to surround it. Takes it off the left shoulder. Not an easy block.
Now 2-2 with both men in scoring position.
Look at Kim getting way down the line again, trying to get in the eyesight of Matt Andriese, give him something to think about. He's way down there, and there's no third baseman to hold him either.
Stepping back, Davis getting time granted.
It's got to be. It really does have to be an uneasy feeling for a pitcher, and I know you're looking at him, but no one to hold him on. He's way down there, and it's just uncomfortable. Shouldn't be down that far. In your mind, that's what you're thinking. Oh, by the way, got to get the hitter out.
And a soft liner into center, base hit. Tying run will score. Jones tried to score, throw to the plate, not in time. Back to second, and not in time there. Now base hit to center. Kim and Jones score to make it 4-3. Baltimore. Davis driving in his second and third runs of the day. He goes to second on the throw through. And the Orioles have taken the lead.
Boy, he just sweeps it into center field. And how big is that wild pitch now? That's what allows Jones to score there to take the lead. And then because of the aggressive throw, trying to get Jones. Heads up base running there by Chris Davis to immediately break for second and get in. Able to stay on the bag too with a tough slide.
So he's driven in 3 of the 4 runs for Baltimore. Mark Trumbo will be the hitter, and the Rays are waiting for the result of a video check there. And Trumbo will step in, and we will continue. Trumbo doubled in the 4th and takes the pitch for a strike.
He's like, are you sure? Well, he looked a couple times like, yeah, no, that's outside. Get it right next time.
I think it's a better game if that's a strike all the time.
One would hope that that would be the direction things would be going.
Ground ball through the left side, into left, a base hit. Davis is going to score. Dickerson throws into second. Now it's a 5-3 ball game. Trumbo drives in the run with his second hit of the contest.
You know, Matt Andriese, 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Couple of tough strikeouts. You're 1 hitter away.
And actually 1 pitch away.
One pitch away.
A strike away from getting out of all this.
A check swing that goes another inch.
Yep.
He's out of this.
That's right.
And instead, a couple of base hits. 1 to center, 1 through the 5-6 hole.
Now here's Matt Wieters. Trumbo at first. And he lines it over the head of Franklin into right. Souza with the pickup out there. 3rd straight hit. That one sharply struck.
And nobody warming up in the Rays bullpen. There may be a phone call being made now, something soon, but nothing going on down there. So this is Matt Andriese's inning to get out of.
Well, 5 hits in the inning, 8 in the game for Baltimore. Jim Hickey out there trying to change the direction of this inning, which finds the Rays trailing by 2. And men at 1st and 2nd with Jonathan Scope headed to the plate. Scope is grounded out and struck out. A 2-run 4th and now a 3-run 5th. Baltimore taking the lead. The Rays put all 3 of their runs up in the 1st. Strike 1 to Scope. This one low, popping away. Runners will advance. Bailey came up with that ball looking to make a play. But Trumbo goes to 3rd and Wieters moves into 2nd on a wild pitch.
Tries to backhand it. Doesn't flip the glove over and try to block it, keep it close. He tries to backhand it. It's off the heel of the glove. And he's had an awful lot to deal with. Balls in the dirt. Been a number of wild pitches in this game. But that right there is a do or die type of play for a catcher, to try to backhand that ball coming out of the dirt with spin on it.
The pitch down, blocked. 2-1. start to get a little movement in the Rays bullpen. And Reese closing in on 90 pitches. Take the count to 2-2. Yenny Romero starting to loosen in the bullpen. Ground ball, there's a base hit. Trumbo scores. Wieters heads to the plate. 2 more runs are in. And the Baltimore Orioles putting together a big inning in the 5th. They've scored 5 and they make it 7-3.
Using the middle of the field, a ball that was up and out over the plate, and Jonathan Scope pokes it through. That wild pitch. My guys move up again. Boy, this has been a nightmare inning for Matt Andriese.
And when he came so close to getting out of it after being in big trouble on Kim's double and the Jones base hit, setting runners at first and third, he got strikeouts of Alvarez and then Machado. Got Machado on 3 pitches.
And almost got Chris Davis on 3 pitches.
Yep. But that check swing, and as the count eventually went to 2-2, Davis singled, driving in 2. Trumbo has driven in a run. Scope has driven in 2. And J.J. Hardy, the 9th man to hit in the inning, with a 1-0 count right now. 2 balls, no strikes. Fly ball back into center. Kiermaier's going to have room. He puts it away. 9 men come to the plate for Baltimore. It's a 5-run inning and a 7-3 game. The mission continues, commemorating the 15th anniversary of the events of 9/11 all over the country. The mission continues, brings together veterans and civilians through local service projects, honoring this day in history by giving back to our communities. Visit foxsportsupports.com to learn more. Kurt Casale leading off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. and is down 0-2. Eddie Gamboa up in the Rays bullpen. The Rays earlier had the lefty up, and now the right-hander loosens. The ball, 2 strikes to Casale.
Oh, there's no reason that the Rays can't come right back and have an inning of their own. I mean, Baltimore out of nowhere put that thing together. A great start. Looked like Andres was going to get out of it. And then a string of hits led to the 5 runs. But Ubaldo Jimenez, he's had his issues too this season.
This is upstairs. Rays got to him for 3 quick runs on a 3-run homer in the first. And since then, only a walk issued to Logan Morrison. And now he's 3-2 to Casale after he got out ahead of him 0-2.
And the last 2 misses were nowhere close.
Two down to third. Machado will make this play. That's the first out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Well over 30 pitches in the top half of the inning for Matt Andres, pushing his total to 93 on the day for 5 as Gamboa throws in the bullpen. So close to getting out of that inning in big trouble before things came apart. Luke Maile on the ground to short, into the glove of Hardy, and across to Davis. 2 ground ball outs. 2 up, 2 down in the 5th.
That's something that Jimenez can do because of all the pitches that he throws. There aren't many pitches that he doesn't throw. Maybe the knuckleball, but he gets some action. You know, he's got funky arm action. You know, his delivery, not something that you would teach anybody. It's just something that happens over time. The way the hand comes out of the glove, the arm wraps behind him. But it's so funky, he's able to get some good movement. And he likes to pitch bottom of the zone, and it leads to a lot of ground balls. If you're a pitching coach and Jimenez mechanics start to go south, and I actually don't know when his mechanics are right on or when they are going south. How do you fix this?
Yeah, there are a lot of moving parts.
Oh boy.
And on that right hand, drops completely down behind his body.
Almost wraps.
Yep. Yep. Watch this. Ground ball. Scope is right there, and he gets 3 ground balls, keeps the infield busy. 1 to third, 1 to short, 1 to second. 7-3 Baltimore. game in the bottom of the first on a 3-run home run by Logan Morrison. It was still that way in the fourth when Chris Davis opened with an opposite field home run. Another run scored on a wild pitch, and then a 5-run fifth. The key hit by Davis, a 2-run single. Base hit by Trumbo scored another run. Jonathan Scope drove in 2 before the inning was over, capping a 5-run uprising.
And you know what's so odd about that, Dwayne? Those 5 runs on 6, no home runs. This is a team that gets the vast majority of their runs, or shouldn't say the vast majority, but a 5-run inning for the Orioles, they're going to have a home run or 2.
Think. Yep.
Yeah, they don't put too many innings together where you're wrapping out 6 hits between singles and doubles and scoring 5 runs. That's not the way this team is built.
Eddie Gamboa into the game now, and the first pitch to Kim is hit on the ground to Miller at shortstop for the out. Let's check in with Todd Callis for a moment. Todd?
All right, Dwayne, a big moment here for Eddie Gamboa. Spent his entire career in the Orioles minor league system with the exception of 2 days in the show, but didn't pitch in a major league game until he became a Ray. He said he was really looking forward to catching up with some of his former minor league teammates, specifically Manny Machado, Caleb Joseph, and Jonathan Scope. But this is a special moment for Gamboa, taking on an organization that basically he grew up with, guys.
Well, here he is facing Adam Jones now. Pitch is too high to Jones, 1-0. So Gamboa got into the game against the Blue Jays Friday night. And pitched a third of an inning in that one. One of the things he did during the Toronto series is have a get-together with R.A. Dickey down on the field near the Rays dugout before the game. And as we discussed the other night, that knuckleball fraternity is very close-knit, and sometimes it seems they talk only among themselves, and that was a protracted conversation down there, and no one else was around, just Gamboa and Dickey. A liner out to short, that's grabbed by Miller before it hit the ground. 2 outs. By the way, Duffy's in the game at third base. Longoria out of the game. You know, he was hit by a pitch on the right hand in the first, and so Matt Duffy's in there at third with Miller at short, entering along with Gamboa.
So let me ask you, Dwayne. So R.A. Dickey and Gamboa, they meet up and they start to talk. Now you know why they're meeting up. Gamboa made it a point of wanting to speak with R.A. Dickey, and now that conversation started, you're the third guy. What in the world are you going to add, or what do you care about that conversation? That's why no one's around. I mean, where are you going to jump in?
You just leave.
Where are you going to jump in?
You leave.
I file my nails too. You guys have a good day. Good luck with your little floater.
Yeah, there you go. A 1-1 count. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. And 3 balls and a strike. And Reese for 5, and now it's Gamboa. Down beyond Wayne Kirby. Got that right foot out of the way. Wayne Kirby, the first base coach of the Orioles. Ground ball into short right, and there's Franklin to make the pickup to retire Alvarez. A 1-2-3 inning for Gamboa. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 7-3 Baltimore. Kevin Kiermaier to lead off against Ubaldo Jimenez. First pitch is a strike. Rays have not had a hit since the Logan Morrison home run in the first inning. Only base runner they've had since then was a walk to Morrison in the fourth. Quick start for the Rays and nothing much since.
No, and you've got to give some credit, or most of the credit goes to Jimenez. He's the way that he's been able to settle in. He's kept the ball down for the most part when he's wanted to get outs. He's moved the ball around the zone. He's kept his infielders busy. We saw that in the last half. Look how efficient he has become after that first inning.
Two and two.
Well, it's been an up and down year for the Baltimore starter, but his last couple of starts, we talked about it earlier, much better.
He's over to cover, taking the toss from Davis to get Kiermaier, and that'll be the first out. Let's check in with Todd once again. Todd?
All right, Dwayne, normally the spot here where Evan Longoria would bat, it's now Matt Duffy's turn as he took over for third base in the last inning. We're just getting word from the Rays clubhouse that Longoria, after being hit by this pitch by Ubaldo Jimenez, has left the game with right hand soreness. So soreness in the right hand. That's the report we're getting right now. Back to you.
All right, well, some early treatment on that. So here is Duffy. Looks the pitch inside. Fly ball center field. Jones under this one makes the catch. So 2 gone here in the bottom of the 6th. Brad Miller to hit. Chop right side again, taking the toss from Davis. Jimenez, and it's a 1-2-3 6th. 7-3 Baltimore. Glory Ram by Furman, the Bay Area's first name in Chevrolet. Shop FurmanChevyTampa.com today. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Moving into the 7th inning, a 5-run fifth for Baltimore. The difference in this game, 7-3 Baltimore. Eddie Gamboa, the right-hander, making his second appearance. And he faces Manny Machado. Pops it up, foul ball. Duffy's after it, and he makes the catch. Came out of the mitt, but he held it. And that's out number 1.
Cradled it like a baby right in his lap. That was a pretty thing right there.
Take a look here.
Slide. There it is.
Chris Davis.
You remember those? Usually around 2 in the morning, you could order them, but those things that, like big springs, you'd work your inner thighs with. Lay on your side.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You
pinch them together.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That pays off.
Came in handy,
yeah,
didn't it? The Thigh Master. That's what it was.
Yeah. And most of them were ordered about 2 or 2:30 a.m.
I think that was the Suzanne Summers workout.
Yeah, and she stayed in great shape.
Yeah. Yeah, and she always had the leg warmers. It's all coming back.
Yep.
And I don't want it to.
3 balls, no strikes. 1 out. We're in the 7th. Strike with a fastball. 3-1. Gamboa went to the University of California at Davis and was drafted by the Orioles out of that institution of higher learning in 2008. And as Todd referenced, and we mentioned it the other night, he did get to the big leagues briefly with the Orioles, but never got into a game. And so the other night when he pitched here in a Rays uniform, making his major league debut. Into center field. Kiermaier's there. That ball kind of knuckled on him out
yes,
there.
Yes, it did.
2 gone.
Well, and that's a norm there for Kevin Kiermaier. The dirty uniform, the all-out play, and then, this thing's not exactly ending up where I thought it would.
Mark Trumbo. He used 2 for 3. With a double and a single. 1 batted in, a couple runs scored. 98 runs batted in to go with 41 home runs. It's a 1-1 count. One and 2. Popped up, foul ball, out of play. Two and 2. There's ball 3, full count, 3 and 2. 3-2 now. There's ball 4. The ball to the backstop as Trumbo heads to first. With 2 outs, a base runner for Baltimore.
Number 32,
With all that has gone on for Baltimore, that's only the second walk they have drawn. And now Stubbs will run for Trumbo.
Your attention, please.
Drew Stubbs
Number 18, Drew Stubbs.
will be the pinch runner. Matt Wieters will step into the batter's box. And a toss to first. Stubbs back in. Pitch is a little bit outside to Wieters. When Gamboa was in the Orioles farm system at the AA level just I guess 3 years ago now, he threw a no-hitter for their AA club, and the knuckleball, a quick move over there and a close play. The knuckleball, a prominent part of that no-hitter. Yeah, Morrison thought that was close at first, and the Rays are going to take a look. Morrison had looked into the Rays dugout, indicating he thought that they had picked off Stubbs. So we'll have that looked at.
Well, Gamboa, the first move over there was kind of the lull you to sleep. You give him that middle of the road move, and then all of a sudden you come set and you give him the quick one. Quick feet and a bullet over there. Let's see if they do get him.
And he is indeed out at first base. So the pickoff, the Rays get that call overturned. It is indeed a pickoff at first, and we're going to go into the bottom of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch, 7-3 Baltimore. By Ram Trucks, Guts Glory Ram. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. Now back to the hill goes Ubaldo Jimenez. The Rays coming in to hit in the bottom of the 7th. Stubbs, after being picked off at first, will stay in the game and play right field. Logan Morrison leads off, goes after the first pitch, and lofts a high fly ball into shallow center, caught by Adam Jones. Jimenez has just breezed through this game after the first inning. Still allowed 3 runs, but just 2 hits.
The job that he's done. Okay, this is it. A changeup here. Logan Morrison able to go out and get it out for a 3-run homer. And then after that, he would settle in, and he's had everything working. I mean, changing speeds, changing eye levels, up in the zone, down in the zone for ground balls. He has been absolutely fantastic. All the while, his offense has given him the lead, and he's just running with it at this point. But you didn't see this outing after that first inning and the struggles that Jimenez has had this year. A 3-run first for the Rays, and you're thinking, okay, what inning did they knock him out of the game? And now look, 7th inning, and he's still going strong and getting better.
And the only base runner he's given up since then, he walked Morrison in the 4th. And that's it. One and 2. Souza lined out to first in the 1st, and he struck out swinging in the 4th. And there is strike 3 call. He's out on strikes for the 2nd time.
This is just a fastball right down the middle. That's like that pitch to Pedro Alvarez. Those are the kind of pitches that you dream of if you're a hitter, but mentally, whether it's that at bat, whatever's going on, you end up letting it go right by because thinking of something else.
Jimenez has now retired 18 of the last 19 he has faced. The only base runner was Morrison's walk. And there's strike 1 to Dickerson. One and 1. Ground ball. Davis with the toss. Dickerson's out, and the Rays are up and down 1, 2, 3. We go to the 8th, 7-3 Baltimore.
One further update on Evan Longoria. You mentioned earlier he left the game with soreness in his right hand. They did take x-rays, and the x-rays are negative, so good news for the Rays. You know Longoria does not like to miss many games, so we'll see how he comes through after leaving this one. Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. This game has afforded an opportunity for Eddie Gamboa. He has a couple scoreless innings under his belt. Matt Wieters will open the 8th inning. Wieters singled and scored in that 5-run 5th. One and one. He was at the plate when Stubbs was picked off first to end the top half of the 7th. Balls and a strike. Two and two. Jonathan Scope is on deck. Strikes out Wieters.
And look at Fox tracks. You just see where he's going up and away, floats one in there. I'll tell you, this job here by Eddie Gamboa. You see the way that he throws that. It's got that spiraling action to it. At the very end there, drops about 3-4 inches out of nowhere.
Jonathan Scope. It's a strike. One and one to count. Nubber. Gamboa with an underhanded feed to Morrison, so a strikeout and a ground out. 2 up, 2 down.
You know, we had that tight camera 6, that tight center field camera, and you get that look at the grip. That's the knuckleball grip as he's just getting ready to push it out there, and then you start to see that spiraling action. Now watch it drop right there, not even able to make that catch. That's an interesting, you just think of the knuckleball. Yeah, it is a little bit different.
J.J. Hardy takes the pitch down.
You know, you always think of those knuckleballers getting those fingertips dug in and then pushing out from the tips. You could see that was, you know, he had his fingerprints on that baseball as he kind of pushed it off, and he gets a funky little action. You know, when you think about the ones we were slowing down, why am I having a complete meltdown here in the brain? Oh, the Stephen Wright,
yeah,
with Boston. The action on his pitches and then the action on Gamboa's knuckleball, completely different.
Well, Hardy skies to right. Still 7-3, bottom of the 8th coming. The 5th inning to build a 7-3 lead. Rays coming into bat in the bottom of the 8th, facing Ubaldo Jimenez. And to lead off is Curt Casali. The pitch is a strike. Jimenez pitched 7 innings in his first outing of the year against the Minnesota Twins and went 8 innings in one other outing. That's a strike. 0-2. So other than that outing of 8 innings against Oakland on May the 7th, this would now be his longest outing in terms of innings pitched. And there's a ground ball deep and short. Hardy's throw is right on the money. Nice play right there by the veteran Baltimore shortstop.
Boy, no doubt, too. And when Manny Machado dove, you're thinking, okay, gets by Manny Machado, no way Hardy's going to have enough time to get to it and make the throw. Just outside of the glove of Machado, there's his partner backing him up, and a nice strong throw over to get Casali relatively easily. And I'll tell you, Jimenez, that's the thing. When you talk about this outing and how deep he's getting, efficiency, we saw the pitch count after the first 25. He's kept that in line. A lot of quick outs, a lot of ground balls. He's involved his infielders. I'll tell you, this has been impressive.
Fly ball to right. That's Stubbs just getting to the track, and Maile is the second out.
For a guy who gives up a 3-run homer, in the first inning, first 5 hitters that he faces, 3 of them score.
And has not given up a hit since then, and has given up only 1 base runner in the last 22 hitters to face him. He walked Morrison in the 4th. At 95 pitches right now. Franklin fouls it out of play.
Well, and he hasn't had to rely on just 1 pitch. The fastball has been good. He's gotten some outs on cutters. He's gotten some outs on the split. He's used the curveball a lot to get ahead early. So he's really not only had all the pitches working, he's incorporated all of them, and they're all producing results.
Two outs and a 2-strike count on Nick Franklin. Fouled out of play. His high pitch count this year is 110, and that came in a 5-inning outing against Toronto. Otherwise, it was 107 in the 7-inning outing he had that we mentioned against the Twins, and he made 104 pitches in the 8-inning start he made against Oakland. He's just about to move to 100 as he works to Nick Franklin. He's ahead of Franklin 1-2. And Franklin did go on pitch number 100. 3 up, 3 down, go the Rays again. We go to the 9th, 7-3 Baltimore. 7-3 Baltimore, a 5-run fifth, the difference in this game. Ubaldo Jimenez touched for 3 in the first and has settled in and has been dominant. So we go to the 9th. Andy Romero takes over following Matt Andriese and Eddie Gamboa. Steve Pearce will pinch hit to open the 9th inning, hitting for Kim. That's ball 1 to Pearce.
Okay, this is strange.
It is, isn't it? He started the year with the Rays and was a welcome addition here. Bounce it back, 1-1.
But then not so strange to see him in that uniform, because that's how you got to know Steve Pearce.
Yep.
It was as an Oriole.
See 309 with the Rays, 10 homers, 3 in 20 games with Baltimore.
He was getting more regular playing time with the Rays. He really had forced his way into the lineup. Had hit so well, was hitting righties, lefties. That average over 300 speaks to that.
Two and two, and you never know what the future holds, but you could see any number of clubs who would be interested in having him on their team. He, for a long time, hit primarily against lefties, but the last few years he's hit right-handers well as well. Out on strikes. Here's what's coming up tomorrow. It'll be on Rays Live. Pre-game show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Jake Odorizzi will be on the hill for the Rays. We'll hear from him, and Doug Wechter will break down Chris Davis. Something a lot of pitchers have not been able to do successfully. Here's Adam Jones. And that is a strike. Jones singled and scored in the 5-run fifth. One. That's a ball, 2 strikes. Ball deep to right. Souza Jr. in front of the wall is there to make the catch. Jones hit it a long way to the opposite field. Souza caught it.
Getting close to that wall out there. Adam Jones, 25 home runs on the season, 4th on the team. I mean, okay.
Yeah, you'd better hit a few more if you're going to top this lineup in home runs. He came in leading the major leagues in home runs. Davis hit one to the opposite field in the 4th inning. 215 home runs for Baltimore.
He'd have to hit 8 more to tie Manny Machado for 3rd on the team. 8 more. You've got 3 hitters in this lineup that have 33 plus homers. Davis took the lead over Machado today. Finn puts him in 2nd place behind Trumbo's 41.
Cut and a miss. 2 outs, bases empty. Count is 2-1. That's a strike. We go to 2-2. Two-two, swing and a miss. Alvarez out on strikes. 2 in the inning for Romero. 10 strikeouts for the Rays. 7-3 Baltimore. Sports Sun brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory Ram. By Kubota. For more information, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. So the Rays move into the bottom of the ninth, down by 4. Michael Bourne in the game and left. Kim lifted for a pinch hitter Pierce, and Bourne now in the lineup. Kiermaier bounces it to first on the first pitch. Davis makes the play unassisted. Better coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. Finishing the season with a perfect save percentage of 40 plus. How about those years for those guys? Eric Gagne, 55 of 55.
Well, you see right there, Zach Britton now 40 out of 40, and he's getting ready down there just in case.
Meanwhile, yes, Jimenez is retired 23 out of 24, and he has a 4-run lead. Matt Duffy takes a strike.
Not seen Ubaldo Jimenez throw the ball this well. I mean, he has locked it in. After that first inning, the home run by Morrison, about as well as you'll ever see a pitcher do that. Give up 3 in the first, and then, you know, the stat that continues to just get bigger and bigger. 19 out of 20, 20 out of 21.
1-2 now.
Now he's been able to change speeds, locate, and pitch up and down.
Retired 15 in a row. Wide, 2-2. Duffy the hitter, Miller on deck. Play. Duffy sends it into right center, and that's caught by Stubbs. 2 up, 2 down here in the 9th. Coming up on Rays Live postgame, presented by Checkers. Todd and Doug anchor the coverage from the set in left field. We'll hear from Kevin Cash, a player reaction from the clubhouse. Well, Brad Miller up here now for the Rays. 16 in a row retired by Jimenez. One. Miller struck out, popped out, and grounded out. Back into the screen, foul. 1-1. Ball, 2 strikes.
That's impressive from the 2nd inning on.
How about that? Foul out of play. Last complete game for Jimenez was in 2011. Working on his 9th potential complete game. He's a strike away from it. Just a little piece of that one, forcing another pitch.
How did he get to that? That was off speed, moving down and away off the plate, and Brad Miller able to go out somehow. I mean, that ball's a good 6-8 inches off.
And again, a little piece of it to stay alive. Had a hit in the 1st. Longoria hit by a pitch, and Morrison hit a home run. That's it. Swing and a miss. This game is over. Jimenez goes the distance for the first time this year and the first time since 2011. He retires the last 17 men to face him. 3 up, 3 down go the Rays, and the 9th for Baltimore. 7-9-0 with 4 left for the Rays in descending order. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. Jimenez 6 and 11 on the year, and Grease, the loser, 6 and 7.
Well, 3 of the first 5 Rays hitters scored off of Ubaldo Jimenez, and you think it's going to be a big day for the offense, and then Ubaldo said forget about it. And what I really liked about what he did today, the changing of speeds, the changing of eye levels, the cutter was working, the splitter was working, fastball was good, curveball to get ahead. He had all the entire arsenal was working. He was able to get him into the spots that he needed him, and after that home run by Logan Morrison, he absolutely shut down this Rays offense to come up with a line like that. Shaking hands now. What a day for Ubaldo Jimenez.
159 starts between complete games for Jimenez. 7-3 the final. For Brian Anderson, Todd Callis, and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. We'll be with you tomorrow at 6:30, the Rays and the Orioles in the middle game of this series. Rays Live, the post game, presented by Checkers, comes your way next.